Good evening, Milwaukee. I'm Zach Witkoff. I am deeply honored to stand before you tonight and introduce my father. This moment holds special significance as I'm about to become a father myself. Thank you. The nation my son is born into in December will be shaped by the choice we make this November. I saw my father's remarkable journey from relying on a small loan to becoming one of the country's most successful developers. He showed me that success comes from hard work, not handouts. When I joined his business, I started at the bottom, literally, handling plumbing jobs and repairing sewage lines late at night in New York City. That's how he started too. I vividly recall him spending New Year's Eve fixing a broken sewage tank with a bear of a man named Shecky. You see, they couldn't afford to call in a crew. They were the crew. Years later, Shecky was still by my dad's side, and he became my first boss. He once told me he would run through a wall for my dad because my dad never asked him to do anything that he wouldn't do himself. And that's exactly how my family feels about our dear friend, President Donald J. Trump. We have seen him stand shoulder to shoulder with the American people, time and again, even when it wasn't easy, even when he could be doing something else. Even after getting hit by live sniper fire, he stood with us, my fellow Americans, and that is why we stand with him. And you know what? He makes it fun, too. President Trump and the First Lady were the guests of honor at my wedding at the beautiful Mar-a-Lago Club. The president tore up the dance floor until 3 in the morning with his signature moves. You guys know those moves. The essence of what my dad taught me, hard work, unwavering loyalty, and perseverance, that is the essence of Donald Trump. As long as we stand united with President Trump, it will remain the essence of the nation that my son and all of our children grow up in. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump, and God bless the greatest nation on earth, the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present my father, Stephen Witkoff.
Good evening, everybody. That song that you just heard was American Trilogy by Elvis. It was playing for a reason. A lot of people don't know this about my dear friend, President Trump, but he's a big music guy. And he's got a playlist, and he's the DJ wherever he goes. See, I stand before you tonight not just as a speaker, not just as someone who came up as a builder with the president in the world of real estate, but as someone who has had the profound privilege of calling President Donald J. Trump a true and dear friend for many, many years in good times and bad times. And of all the songs he has shared with me over the years, that is the song that best captures him, especially those words, "His truth is marching on." I thought of that song after my dear friend was shot a few days ago. I gave him a call. I expected to leave him a voicemail. so it surprised me when he answered the phone. His first words surprised me as well. He'd just come within an inch of his own life ending, but he picked up the phone and said, "Hi, Steve. I'm really glad you called. How are you? How are your kids?" It surprised me, but it shouldn't have. I know this man very well. President Trump is as kind and compassionate a man as I've ever met in my lifetime. I've seen the truth of President Trump, and it marches on with me tonight. I know that many here and watching at home have felt that kind of a connection with the president. It's real. I have never seen him refuse a question from somebody, decline a photo, or ignore someone's story or concerns. Everyone he meets gets a family member's embrace from him. I have felt that warmth so many times over the years. Just last week, I told the president about a moment I had with his 3 sons and how impressed I was with them. He looked at me with a wistful smile, blowing a kiss, and it was a special moment between us as fathers. When my dad fell gravely ill, President Trump didn't just send a note. He didn't just offer words of comfort. He showed up as he always does. He was there, treating my parents with kindness and respect. Including my mom, who's 91 and here tonight dressed in red and is going to be voting for the president. Many Americans have only witnessed his leadership on TV, but I have seen his humanity in the quiet moments, away from the spotlight, in hospital rooms he didn't have to be in, where his presence brought real solace in a dark hour for my family and many other families. That's who he is. When times are really tough, when he's got everything to lose and nothing to gain, Donald Trump shows up and he's there for you. Thank you. When I lost my boy Andrew to an opioid overdose, the pain was unbearable. But as usual, Donald Trump showed up. After he became the President Trump, even amid all the responsibilities of his office, he reached out and invited me to speak about Andrew at a conference on opioids hosted by the First Lady, providing a platform to honor my son's memory. And when the day of the conference came, he went out of his way that day to come and put his hand on my shoulder and say, "Steve," as he led me up to the lectern, "tell the world about your boy." My boy was the best of us. Where we lived in New York City, a Trump building, 502 Park Avenue, there were 12 homeless people who stayed outside by the church next to the property. My son got to know them all. He fed them every evening. He became their friend. When he passed away, all 12 came to his funeral. He and President Trump shared something in common. My boy stood up for people, no matter which side of the train tracks they came from, exactly as the president does for everybody. Standing here today, I still feel my boy's hand on my shoulder. After Andrew passed away, I found myself clinging to my son's memory, even his things. His college ID is in my pocket right now. I wear his ring since he died. And I came today with his watch on. I kept his guitar. I kept his guitar too, and thought I would keep that guitar forever. But I gave it to my dear friend, Andrew's friend, and fellow music lover, Donald Trump. I wanted President Trump to have something with which to remember my son. President Trump didn't say something nice to me and put it in a closet somewhere. He put it right out front at his Trump International West Palm Beach property, where he and I both see it whenever we walk in and play, and where everyone who walks into that beautiful building sees it as well as an acknowledgement to my boy, a sacred tribute to a true friend who's gone, and a cause that remains opioid abuse. Thank you. Standing here today with my boy's hand on my shoulder, I know I'll never hear his music again. His mom and I can only hear the chords of memory now, and we will always hear them. But I know my dear friend, President Trump, hears them too. You don't see this man's reverence, his steady loyalty, his true empathy in the TV coverage. But this is the truth about President Trump, the man I have come to know and admire and love, a man whose truth is marching on. It is a dark hour for America, but there's nobody I trust more in this moment than this man. A man who in the darkest hours shows up, listens, cares, and always acts. The kind of man we need now to be the 47th President of the United States. Thank you. May God bless you all. May God bless President Trump and his extraordinary wife and his wonderful family. And may God bless America. Thank you so much.